is Tough Scene Cleveland, dude. Tough Scene Cleveland, we are back. Me and Def Jeff, Nick Wolf and Def Jeff.
Yo, yo, yo.
No Dave Muzzlecock with us today.
Yeah, we miss him.
Next week, our next show will be a good one. I don't necessarily know who the musical guests are yet, because I do that later on in the week, because musical guests are really hard to pin down, especially local musicians that play and like to drink a little bit. So, and Sundays are a hard day to do it. But we're gonna have some guests, but definitely it's looking like Frank Martinez will be here though. Like always, we're gonna get him. He's been hiding. Doing craft fairs. I don't know what he's been up to, but we're gonna get him, dig him up. Aurora Sands, we're gonna try to have with us very soon to do another of her sex reports. We're gonna go over Dave Muzzlecock's Match.com
results.
Well, results and we're gonna make sure everything's up to code on his whole
his profile.
Oh, his profile was a messed up, Jeff. You missed the episode, and this was all off the air. Actually, we looked over it, and he had some things like my two cats, which are my whole world. And so we're gonna give Muzzlecock a bunch of crap about being just such a douchebag. Great musician, great engineer, but a total douchebag. Wait, did I say that? When it comes, he just needs help with his date. Women, listen, he's got a heart of gold. Okay, he's just looking for his soulmate. Aurora Sands is gonna help him get his Match.com, so women will be on their knees.
We'll do a radio show contest. Aurora Sands can play matchmaker.
Yeah,
and find the right contestant.
Ladies, line up now if you want a chance at Dave Muzzlecock. Listen, get in line because he is a keeper. This kind of reminds me. I found a new career path if the radio thing doesn't work out, Jeff.
What's that?
Deaf Jeff. I want to be a dancing bear. Have you heard about this? Have you seen this?
No.
No. Dancing bear is a new. I've on the Pornhub. I'm in the porn land. I stumble upon something and it's these. I think it's fake, but whatever. It still seems real. It'd be awesome if chicks really do this. But for bachelorette parties now, they have dancing bear parties. And guys wear bear masks and dance around, flop their dick in front of them and shit. And there's like 20, 30 chicks, and they're all cheering, hooting, hollering. And they take turns walking up the chicks and just smacking them in the face with their extremity. And the women return the favor, if you know what I mean.
While wearing a bear mask.
Yeah, the dude's wearing the bear mask. And women are like, and then of course all the women are like, like all nervous. Within the split second, like, okay, and then the chicks are, but like that'd be the bad. Like, when did this job become available? Because to be in porn, you got to do gay porn first. So that's why I don't want to do. Who wants to do that? You know. Right. But this, I don't think you have to take it in the ass before you get a job as a dancing bear. You can sublease it yourself. You don't have to go to Van Nuys, California. You can do it here. You can have your own dancing bear company.
I heard you actually have to wrestle the bear and then kill it and then skin its face off.
That was the old way. That's where it starts. It starts from the Aramans. And,
right.
So that's what they used to do.
I would go with Smokey the Bear.
Right. Oh yeah, the chicks would love that too.
Famous bear.
Famous bear that I would be a dancing Yogi.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome.
So,
hey, boo boo.
If anyone knows about how I can get a job, I think Deb Jeff's interested too, and Deb Muzzlecock probably. We need to supplement our income so we can keep bringing you Tough Scene Cleveland. So if you know anyone that's hiring for Dancing Bear, we'll talk to Aurora Sands. Maybe she knows about that. I think that's her whole thing, right?
The Dancing Bear. She started it?
Yeah. All right. So, Def Jeff, it's time for our TV report here.
Awesome.
And we'll roll the music.
Oh, wait. I had one.
Oh my God. We have one. Yeah, last story.
Which goes along with another proposition for money. I'll get to that. Did you see the picture on Facebook or the news story of this 33-year-old woman in Ohio who's the first to be arrested with a tattoo on her forehead?
Oh, I saw that on Facebook, but I wasn't sure what that was.
Yeah, she had the word God tattooed on her forehead. Yeah, just looked like a criminal.
Now, was it like tattooed backwards so that we could read it, or was it so she could read it in the mirror?
That's a good question. No, it would be for other people.
Or was it? It wasn't dog.
Yeah.
Right? It was God.
It was God. It was God. But yes, she got arrested for stalking her parole officer.
Well, parole officers are fucking sexy.
Who's a female parole officer.
There you go. Wow. Okay, I didn't even know that going in before I said that. I was just talking about Ham.
Yeah. Yeah, this was...
Ham's bail bonds, everybody.
She was looking for some girl-on-girl, with her female parole officer.
Nice. Some
Shit.
parole girl on girl.
Pretty long rap sheet of all kinds of crazy weird shit, but
Oh yeah, she's got God tattooed on her face. That didn't happen overnight.
she turned it into like a sequel to Single White Female, and slashed her tires, called her house repeatedly, and sent packages. They didn't say what the packages were.
You shouldn't do that with girls. Wait, whoa. You can get in trouble for that? That's menacing?
Well,
that's like courting to me.
And sending packages, or even just.
I sent pictures of my package.
Maybe that's what that was, because they didn't explain it.
Oh, her nasty.
But have you ever slashed anyone's tires?
Keying. I like keying. Because you can't write cunt in. Oh wait, we'll bleep that out in tire slashing.
So here's my proposition. Why just give away your forehead to God in hopes that you could just be a criminal and get away with it because you tattooed your forehead? I had the idea. I'm going to rent my forehead space to anyone who wants to advertise on it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Def Jeff has an advertising opportunity. He has his face on available for any advertising.
My forehead.
GoDaddy.com. Priceline.com.
Priceline.
You're interested?
I was actually even thinking Sony because that's something that I represent.
Right.
I don't know. But $40,000 a year and health insurance. I'll be your walking billboard employee, and I'll go around and try to get myself on the news by doing stupid shit. That way your ad is shown on the news.
So jump on that, everybody. Def Jeff is doing a public service here. He will advertise your company. And it's talk about a face of integrity. Def Jeff, you are the face of integrity.
Right.
So this chick is out of her damn mind.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened after that. They arrested her.
Was there any scissoring? No.
Ooh, I don't know.
She's kind of ugly, though. I don't want to think about her scissoring.
She had silver teeth.
Oh, God. Stay away from girls with silver teeth. That's what my mom always told me.
And God tattoos?
And God tattoos on her forehead, yes. I remember I was 6 and she set me down. Nick, you're going to meet a lot of girls in your life. Some are going to have silver teeth and God tattoos. You might want to think twice.
Go for the classier girls.
Right, go for those girls with their labia pierced. All right, so here's our so now it's on to something important. All this superficial news crap with China and football player suicides and the supermoon and Brexville bridge bombings and all that.
Talk about something people actually care about.
TV report. TV is a vile, awful place through most of the dial, especially on the networks nowadays, where people are so insistent on just being spoon-fed garbage like How I Met Your Mother, 2.5 Men, Glee, just shows that suck, really. And bad reality shows where everyone's dancing or singing. Yeah. I don't really think people like that. I think it's just like music and top 40 radio stations where some people just, they say they love it. They don't. It's just background. It's just, you can't just like something. I love you. I'm all about it. No, you're not. You kind of like it.
Right. It's water cooler talk, People want to, I'm cutting edge because I watched Dancing with the Stars last night.
Right. If only Urkel would have broken out the Urkel a little early. I don't know. I don't care. The fact that Urkel's popping back up in the American consciousness means that we need to be extinct at the end of this year, possibly. I don't want it to happen. And I wouldn't be mad at God if he sent the wrath down. Well, the 4 horsemen are coming. We will have another update on them soon.
Yeah.
But, so it's really hard, but there are, despite all the glutton crap, on some station networks, it's mainly cable, there are some phenomenal shows.
Yes.
And unfortunately, and even on network, and that's what I want to talk about first, everyone wants to trash NBC in their programming all the time, and even Fox. But these channels, I think, it's always, you hear the news, they're always, they write them down like they've always been bad, and they are second rate to CBS and NBC. I personally hate CBS and NBC. I thought CBS has always been stuffy. There may have been good shows like Murphy Brown and stuff like that, but they were always stuffy and not really all that funny, or not really my sense. It's for older people that think was funny. NBC is or ABC is terrible. It's Disney crap. Everything on it is just junk. The only good show I think they ever really I can remember I liked on it was Lost.
Right. Which is probably carrying him through the whole rest of this decade.
Right.
Still, from how
it's just I don't like their program, but that's you hear in the mainstream. It's always these are the networks that are awesome. All 2.5 Men, blah, blah. These shows are terrible.
Yeah,
They're not good. They have laugh tracks. They have bad. I'm sorry. If you know about writing and watch good TV shows, you know what's funny and you know at least what's irreverent and cool and like what you like. These are cliche. I've seen Roseanne a million times. I know a Roseanne line when I hear a damn Roseanne line. I know a Three's Company line when I hear a Three's Company line. Right. It's not original. It's terrible. This Big Bang Theory, dude, it's so great. It's if you're a geek, dude, you gotta like if you like comic book. Their references are so pedestrian and so mainstream. It's like, oh, yeah, well, you like Star Trek and Superman? So do 8 billion other friggin' people. Right. It's not cool. You're not really being all that underground about what you're talking about. Kevin Smith is drops some way cooler references in his stuff. Like, it's just lame. I know better. Maybe these people don't really know better, so they get spoon-fed this. And unfortunately,
these younger generations didn't have the awesome shit we did when we were kids,
right.
You know? I mean, it might have been cheesy and looking back on it, the fashions and stuff,
but there was cool stuff, right. And NBC's always gotten beat up, and Fox too, but let's look at the damn shows. Let's look at the track record. NBC, Seinfeld, Believe.
Yeah.
NBC, Friends, Believe. NBC, Cosby Show. Even now, this awful lineup that ER, like, come on, NBC's had a lot of amazing shows, more than ABC or CBS ever have. Fox, although they've canceled a lot of shows that they shouldn't have canceled or had, and they do have crap. Let's look at what they've, Arrested Development, which, yeah, they canceled, but it's going to live on through Netflix. Married with Children, The Simpsons.
Which is still on, yeah.
I mean, come on.
Married with Children.
All the other great things, Fringe, which we'll get to in a minute, they put out great programming. And the fact that, like, everyone always wants to count must-see TV out. Like, oh, must-see TV hasn't been funny. NBC sucks. NBC has Saturday Night Live, the wrestling, blah, blah, blah. Thursday nights is better than it's ever been. You have The Office, which may be coming to an end. But it's still funny. If you love the characters, you'll love the characters. Yeah. I want to know what's going to happen with them still. 30 Rock.
Yeah, can't deny that show.
I mean, The Office is going to be a legendary show. The 30 Rock is going to be a legendary show. Community is one of the funniest shows on television right now. Amazing. And I know all my friends that are in the age group in their 30s, which used to be an age group and a demographic that mattered, love it. Community, not always great, but hey, it's got its fan base and stuff. People don't read the networks. You got to realize that once these shows are done, you're going to have a second life in the DVD with some of these shows.
Right,
because
absolutely.
When you have the cult following, you can't really judge things the same way you used to. And one good thing about, it seems like Community, the fans are kind of fighting for this, and USA did a poll, and they want Community that was one of the ones, the most like show that they want to save. Fringe was also up there. Shows that came in the low were the CSIs, which is really kind of weird, and they're terrible. I'm happy it finally happened because those shows suck. Yeah. Listen, and no, you don't know about cop shows. I like NYPD Blue. I like friggin' The Wire. I like good cop shows. Homicide: Life on the Streets. Right. Some of these are Law and Orders. CSI's crap. David Cruz is an awful actor. Him leaving NYPD Blue is the best thing ever happened to that show.
I gotta give the reality nod to the cop thing lately. You ever see First 48?
The best cop show on TV. I mean, why watch a cop show when you can watch
CSI
that?
when you can see what actually, Yeah.
Yeah, First 48 is amazing. And that leads up to Fringe. We both are big fans of Fringe.
Yes.
An amazing show. A show that doesn't get great ratings, but you ask anyone that watches it, and they would probably all agree that it is probably the best science fiction show ever on television, I think. Unless you're one of those dorks that's into the British crap. But I'm not that far into science fiction.
Right. Me either.
It's amazing, the show. A lot of people are like, oh, it seems like the X-Files. Yeah, because you watch the first couple seasons of the first episode. When you get to a certain point, you realize that there's stuff going on. You just don't realize what's going on yet.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
There's more to it.
I mean, they cover... It's not just science fiction, though. It's superhero stuff that they kind of make sound in a real fiction, in a real sense, and kind of make realistic. Very awesome. It's getting a reprieve. They're going to have their 5th and final season.
Kudos to them.
To wrap it all up.
5 seasons, awesome.
Right. And maybe we wish it could go on longer, but they told the story that... Sorry. They told the story they wanted to tell. I had to get that out, folks. Sorry about that. I ate melt today. Yeah, they melt. They like dipping sandwiches in elephant ears, basically. I don't know what the hell I ate, but I might have a heart attack here.
A giant carnival sandwich of cheese.
It was phenomenal. Oh, no, I didn't have quite that, but it was pretty phenomenal. It was like a cordon bleu, or what's the French thing, like with the tomatoes and the whatever, ham or whatever. It was good though. But anyways, so Fringe will survive.
Yeah, good for them. I haven't seen season 4 yet.
I guess it gets crazy
it.
going in the next season. They say it jumps ahead a whole bunch of years, which it kind of has already a little bit. But yeah, it's amazing how the story builds up and with the alternate realities. If you haven't seen Fringe yet, I'm gonna spoil it for you. I love spoiling shit. You turn out the whole thing with Peter being from another dimension. Basically, it's all Walter's fault. And, the good, lovable Walter is kind of the bad one. Yeah. And even though the other Walter, the alternate, is evil, you really got to understand his point of view. I mean, his world was wiped out. His son was, just amazing story. To be honest, if you're a J.J. Abrams fan and his production company, it's better. I think as far as the story and gelling through the whole source of it, it's better than Lost. Although I love Lost, I love the characters on Lost. Let's be honest, you try to watch it back and a lot of it doesn't jibe as well as they'd like you to believe. I don't care how well
a lot of it was a shot in the dark for them. They didn't know what was coming next, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, the writer's strike had something to do with that.
Yeah.
So,
Fringe, definitely, though. Yeah, the storyline, just amazing. Just keep growing and growing. And the production with the special effects and everything for a network show.
Right, it's amazing. It's great. And the actors are phenomenal. Most of them play at least 2 roles.
Right.
Really, I mean, anything Lance Reddick's on, I'll watch. Awesome. Lance Reddick from The Wire and a bunch of shows. If you don't care about Game of Thrones, don't listen to the rest of this. We're gonna end the show here. We're gonna talk. We're both Game of Thrones fans. Listen to the rock and roll stuff. If that's what you're into, that's cool. We're just doing this. If you're a big fan of our opinions, then listen. It's cool. I was watching basically people's blogs all night about Game of Thrones. Dorks, fucking dork losers. Just see what George R.R. Martin really what I think the flaw in his books. Shut up, asshole. So I feel now is incumbent on us to give our own opinions on Game of Thrones. Def Jeff, you just finished the first season.
Yeah, I'm a Netflix watcher, so I don't have cable.
You came kind of late to it,
but it just came out on Netflix. So anyone else who's poor like me will,
you'll be catching it. Well, most of them will probably wait. You were really into it. A lot of them probably wait for the instant queue if it ever comes out. But
yeah, that too.
Yeah, you got them ordered to you. You're high class.
That is, yeah. I mean, with the high middle class Netflix account.
But I read all the books that are out.
Yeah, you were telling me about the books before it was even a concept for a show.
Right, and yeah, I mean, I've been telling people like, hey, check this out, but now everyone's finally getting on board and realizing that this is amazing. What are your thoughts here on the show? Kind of the first season, and
it was amazing, hands down. It kept you guessing. You immediately got his sense of anything can happen, anyone can die.
Right.
Don't hold on to anything.
And that's the HBO, which is cool because, I mean, that's the HBO kind of way.
Yeah,
but he did that before HBO. Like, they fit together so well.
As far as people getting murdered in The Sopranos, I don't really ever remember feeling the same way as season 1 of Game of Thrones.
No, not at all.
The first big one would have been Big Pussy.
Big Pussy, but you knew it was coming.
He was a dick, and you knew it was coming.
I think Adriana's might have had it. Like, I did, but Adriana's is bummed me out when it happened. It was awesome, but it was Bobby Bacala's death at the end there was in the train stop store was pretty awesome. But yeah, I see what you put. Eddard Stark.
But at the same time,
and I would say on The Wire, they killed off D'Angelo Barksdale in this. Oh shit, you didn't get there yet. Oh well, whatever.
That's
you know, Professor. D'Angelo Barksdale gets killed off in the second season. I think him and McNulty are kind of the main characters of the first. So that was kind of like that. But definitely Sean Bean, who really when Game of Thrones first kind of was being advertised on HBO, that was one of the big selling points with Sean Bean because they kind of knew him from Lord of the Rings, and he kind of had that.
Right.
And he was definitely slated to be the star. I don't think anyone ever thought that. When I read the first book, or reading it, it's got Sean Bean on the cover of it.
Right. That's awesome.
And he gets killed though.
Right.
And it really just shakes. It's crazy.
It was so shocking, man. Like they just lead you up to thinking he's gonna get let go and for repenting his treason.
Right, and it would make sense to send him story-wise without knowing what happens, to the wall, because then you'd have him with John and his brother, and they'd be fighting the Wild Thing, because that's going to happen pretty early on.
And at the same time, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, well, they can kind of plot their revenge and what they're going to do from the wall,
right,
and figure out a way to get out of it, because it's the fucking Lord,
Right.
But yeah, just when the Boy King ordered his head, that was...
Joffrey, you little bastard.
That was gripping, man. It was hard to not, feel like you were in that moment.
Yeah.
Because it was so shocking, and, you see his daughters, and they're watching it happen, and that was just unbelievable TV.
I would say the top moments, and there's a bunch, but I think the ones that really kind of hook people on, I think when you're early into it, I think what will get you interested in the first couple episodes is when Bran gets pushed out the window.
Right.
That's a big
Undeniably,
scene.
Yeah.
I think when Viserys gets the Golden Crown, that's so brutal. That's awesome.
When Khal Drogo chops that dude's throat off.
When Khal Drogo does the fight and rips the dude's tongue out, and
he gets his the wound,
the little cut that eventually kills him. That's amazing.
Epic, man, epic.
And then at the end with Daenerys, obviously Eddard Stark, and then at the end with Daenerys and the dragons.
Yeah.
And a lot of those, just for HBO, bring those off the pages the way they did. And there's some flaws. Like, if I could be nitpicky, there are people, if you're really into the books, there's things you can nitpick about. While some of the Lords of the North aren't introduced when they are introduced in the book, they're going to get there. Don't worry. Roose Bolton will be around. It's okay. I was pissed. Wait, where the hell's... Because there's a scene where he's with all of his lords, and I'm like, me being the dork, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's Arnold, that's Karstark. Where the hell are the...
This guy, and this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Where's Roose Bolton? Where's... not Karstark, the Great John. Where's Karstarks? Where's the Umbers? Where's Mage Mormont? Oh, that fat chick right there. Is that Mage Mormont? Right. They kind of have the Great John speak for all of them. But hey, that's a TV show. You gotta do stuff like that.
Yeah.
The one thing you don't get with the TV show is the 8 million descriptions about food and armor, because half of those books are him describing food and armor, which I like, but there's a lot of that. There's a lot of ridiculous, fools singing songs and stuff like that, and some other things that are just kind of dumb. Animals talking. There's a lot of dreams of the animals and stuff that HBO gets down to the gut, and they give you sex instead of all that, which is always they know what America wants.
Yeah, but at the same time, the production level of it is so amazing.
It's like watching a movie.
It is, yeah. It's like the one guy said in that interview. It's like a 10-hour.
10-hour movie. Yeah, Jason Momoa, and that it's a really good board panel that we listened to on. It's on YouTube. Game of Thrones, San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah, Jason Momoa is awesome on that. Yeah, the guy that played Khal Drogo. Hopefully he gets cast in something again, because he seems like a maniac.
Yeah, he deserves some kind of job.
Yeah, it was cool.
He's entertaining.
But I definitely like, what characters stood out? You could pick 3 characters that stand out to you.
Jon Snow.
Right.
I just can relate to him a lot, and he's a badass.
Right.
So immediately he's going to be one of the sort of...
I mean, that whole someone that's looking for somewhere to belong.
Right.
And
but he's trained to kick the shit out of anybody.
Right, exactly.
That's awesome. And the sword he gets is pretty fucking sweet.
The long claw, which is either a bear or a wolf.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. And let's see, probably Daenerys.
Stormborn.
Her story's just awesome, and she's hot. So
yeah, she is beautiful.
And she's
Emilia Clarke is the actress who plays her.
For her first big role in anything.
Or just out of drama school, yeah. And awesome. she's like, I'll show my cans, I don't care.
Yeah. And then Stark, Ned Stark, probably. But he's gone, but I'd still consider him probably my favorite character, one of my favorite characters.
Right. See, I guess I'm to a point where I like reading them all. I like really kind of like seeing back, now looking back to Littlefinger and Varys and Magister Illyrio, who's at the beginning, he's the one that's plotting with that area overhears. Right. He comes by later, but kind of seeing there's some things after you've read all the books where you kind of can go back and see the first season, or read or listen, or watch even, because watching does it justice too. They did such a great job with it that you're like, oh yeah, well man, they plotted this pretty early on. The seeds are being sown for something I'm reading right now. Because when I was watching the season 1, I was finishing reading Dance with Dragons. I'm done with it now. I pretty much wrapped them both up at the same time.
What's it, the 5th one?
That's the 5th one. And amazing. And I'm not going to spoil anything because Def Jeff's here. I will do that on a later date. But the stories grow with these characters. The 3rd season, if you stick around, this next 2nd season is going to be amazing. You're going to have a great battle scene. It should be amazing. They're going to do it justice. It'll be awesome. Season 3 is going to blow everybody's minds. And I would suggest if you're watching the show, don't read the books yet, unless you really need to read the books.
Right.
Enjoy the show. If you're not that into, but if you're not someone that like reads books, just enjoy the TV show. It's cool. You don't have to know everything that's going on.
They got it really at every front. People who like TV get to watch it. People who like books can read it, and it's the top. To me, it's like the best of both of the arts right there.
Well, USA Today had their TV poll rankings, and it's number 1 now, which is like Breaking Bad's number 5 or something. Like Breaking Bad's been kind of like considered like the best like adult, man kind of show,
Right.
Game of Thrones kind of unseating break, although Breaking Bad's in between seasons too, so
right.
We'll see when the new season, which I cannot wait. I'm just about to start on season 4 of Breaking Bad. Amazing show too, but we're
what
talking
season
about
are they at now?
They'll be going into 5, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But Game of Thrones, and they're like 5 or 6 episodes into season 2 now, Def Jeff, of Game of Thrones, which is based off the book Clash of Kings. I really love though Littlefinger. Aidan Guillen portraying Littlefinger is like orgasmic dream for me as a dork. The only show I probably love more at this point more than Game of Thrones is The Wire. I think The Wire is the best. And Game of Thrones and The Wire are so much alike. People say, oh, like Tolkien. Game of Thrones is more like The Wire than it's like everything else because the simple elements of the fact that they tell you the whole story. Right. You know every element. You know all the minor characters. You know blah, blah, blah. You know the whole story. And good guys are not necessarily 100% good guys. Good guys do bad, and bad guys can do good. Right. And it's about your actions, and it's not casting a person as they're this or that. Everyone on a given day has a capacity for good or evil and can rise up to the occasion or let everybody down. Yeah. And both of these shows, I think more than any other TV shows I've ever seen, and I've watched. I'm a TV nerd. I don't like music. I host a music show, and I love local music, but I don't listen to the radio. As far as, like, I don't listen to CDs to jam out. I watch TV when I can relax. I love TV. Always have since I was a kid. That's why I do radio. I couldn't do TV because I wouldn't want to ruin TV for myself. I like enjoying TV. To me, radio or music, I can't enjoy because to me it's work. It's something that I love, but as a performer, as a creator, not as a fan. Right. And I'm not saying I'm not a fan. I love all the bands that come on TSC Cleveland. But, you know what I mean? Like, TV to me is more of what I'm a fan of. Right, where music is just like, I am a fan of it, but it's what I do too, and I take it more personally.
Well, let's face it too. As far as TV goes, we've got all these awesome movie-like shows now in the last 10 years. It almost feels like the sort of golden age for
it is for these
awesome produced storytelling.
I mean, you have so many. Right now, you have Sons of Anarchy, Justified on channel FX. HBO's got Treme, Boardwalk Empire, Game of Thrones, a couple others, True Blood. Not that I'm huge into that, but I mean, they're just AMC's got The Walking Dead, and they're gonna have more programming coming out. USA and TNT both came out recently and said they want to start kind of marketing and putting out shows like that. Right. I mean, there's some really good stuff out there. There's shows that have just ended that have been amazing, too. Sopranos, Rescue Me. I'd say it's been going on for about this decade. I'd say this last 12 years has been one of the best eras in television. Yeah. Also, half-hour comedies are so much more brutal and funnier than they ever have now with HBO and FX. You have Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Bored to Death. I can go on.
South Restraint on all those shows.
Right, and it's all. And let's be honest. Let's thank who is responsible for TV being the way it is now. Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
Yeah, basically.
It is all because of you guys. Thank you very much for creating TV the way it is and having the balls to do what you wanted on your show and not let yourself being bullied around by the network. And making your sponsors realize that they're advertising on your show because they want your audience. They're not going to dictate what your show is going to be, and that there isn't, and that you can forge an audience by doing what you want. And it's because of South Park, I think, more than anybody else, that it's loosened up a little bit. And as sponsors have loosened up on these shows and are letting the creators make adult fare that is for adults.
Yep.
And because kids can watch... Kids don't want to sneak and watch adult shows anymore. They don't give a damn. They want to watch... I don't even know what they watch anymore. The stupid, bad animated, garbage, dreck, retard stuff.
Like what age are you talking?
Well, kids, like, whatever. Just kids in general.
I have kids. I can tell you what they watch.
Right, what do your kids watch?
Phineas and Ferb, which is actually...
Phineas and Ferb, all right.
I can sit down and laugh my ass off at that show every time it's on. And it's got the same plot every time, just different details.
Right.
I can still sit down and laugh my ass off.
All right, Jeff, you're going against my point here.
Yeah, sorry. But, my little one still watches some Power Rangers, which is pretty lame. And
yeah, all kids do, though. Kids still like the Power Rangers.
Video games, yeah, so...
like, all stuff all faded out, like, when we were kids, and other lame stuff came around. The Power Rangers seem to be timeless.
Yeah. Well, there's like 7,000 different...
Yeah, it's so stupid. It was terrible when it was original. It was... just awful. I was a little too old. I mean, we were teenagers.
I'm sure their budgets are huge now for the newer ones, but they don't put it into the acting still. It's just
right.
better effects, basically.
But they don't want to watch. You put Game of Thrones in front of them, they wouldn't want to watch it. Not like...
I don't think I'd want them to watch it.
Right. But I'm saying they wouldn't if they ever came upon it. They wouldn't even care. Yeah. And I remember when we were young, it was all about like, oh, adults like this, I gotta watch this. But there weren't the choices of stuff. We had WVIZ if you want to watch kids programming.
Yeah.
So Game of Thrones, if you haven't watched it yet, start watching season 1. I'll give you all a little while, and then I'm spoiling it all. I love the series. Real quick about the end, in case I'll code it. I don't think he's dead. I think he'll come. I think something more is going to happen. I think she... and if you guys know what I'm talking about, read the books, you'll know what I'm talking about. It looks like he got killed, and I know it seems like all those guys killed him and turned on him. But I think with what it's shown, the way they've been kind of building him up, he's going to survive. Something weird's going to happen. The king be on the wall. You know what happened with him. So I think it's going to be kind of like that sort of. As far as the girl across the sea, she needs to get there already. I agree with a lot of the bloggers already. It just needs to friggin' happen already. Now she's back in the grass. I don't know what the hell is the logic of that. The small loudmouth needs to really do something because he's kind of been sitting around for about 3 books not doing crap. And I'm waiting for the loudmouth, the little guy, to do some shit. Let's see where else goes in that book.
You already won an Emmy.
The stupid Southerner, yeah, he died. You shouldn't play with fire. You'll get burned. But that was a great storyline. And Young Griff, I love the Young Griff storyline. Amazing. It's going to change the face of everything. The girl beyond the sea needs to hurry up because the young Griff is going to be major trouble to her. So that was my review on Game of Thrones, completely in code. Jeff, do you know anything I'm talking about?
About 85% of that seemed like some kind
Jibber
of weird cryptic code. Yeah.
Right. So that is TSC Cleveland. This is our little mini-sode. We're going to bring it to an end here. You got anything else you want to say, Jeff?
I'm good. I'm done.
All right, Dave Muzzlecog. We will be so next week. We will be hooking Dave Muzzlecog up. We'll be setting him up with the love of his life. If you're Asian, that's preferable. We'll also have some great musical guests. We're gonna try. Hopefully, I can get a hold of Chris Marinan. We've been trying to get him back in here, reschedule him from the missing. They got a lot of things going on. So hopefully next week we'll have him and. Whatever other awesome bands we dig up. If you want to be on the show, send us stuff on Facebook. The best thing to do is share something with our Facebook page. So it's right there. We have the link right there, and we can just boot it and use it. So, TSC Cleveland, we'll be back with our episode next Tuesday. All right, everybody.
Peace.
Subscribe to TSC Cleveland on YouTube. Like TSC Cleveland on Facebook.